Hey fellow backyard warriors, Nick here. I've been getting a lot of requests to do another Karambit video, and since I've been really enjoying doing all the forging videos, today I figured I'd try and see if I could turn this old 8-inch Nicholson file into a Karambit. So here we go. I start out by forging out the tang of the file and lengthening it. What I'm going to be doing is lengthening it out to about 4 inches and then curling it on itself to create the finger ring, also known as a safety ring, for the Karambit. Now, a lot of traditional Karambits are made by drilling, punching, or welding a ring on. But I'm doing it a little differently and sort of in the style of a blacksmith knife by making the ring integral to the knife. And I'm hoping the ring will have the quality of a nice flowing scroll. I twist the very end of the tang and then even it out so that the whole tang has a nice even thickness with a very smooth taper. I then start hammering out the transition between the tang and the rest of the file and start shaping my handle. I forge in sort of a rounded area for the palm swell and then start concentrating on the area where the blade meets the handle. I forge in my first curve near the blade and then start shaping the handle further, just making sure everything is nice and finished and that it looks comfortable. Then I heat up the transition between the ring and the end of the handle and curve it backward so that the ring can curl underneath. Then I start hammering in the curl on the ring, just tapping it gently using the horn of the anvil and also just tapping it in different directions just so that it'll curve nicely. Once I get the rough curve that I want, I take it back to the horn and use it sort of like a ring mandrel to adjust the size and the curvature. I'm going for a roughly 1-inch inner diameter on the ring. Now that the safety ring and the handle is finished, I mark where I'm going to cut to get my 3-inch blade. Using my improvised hot cut tool, I cut the excess piece off. Once the end is cut, I start forging out the tip, trying to remove that sharp point and blend it into the rest of the blade. I then start hammering out my bevels, just roughly on the back and mainly concentrating on the main inside bevel. Once I've forged it to about the thickness of a dime, I take it to the horn of the anvil and start whacking it from the back. I'm doing this so that I can force the blade forward to give me that nice curve that I'm looking for. It takes several heats to do this and I just keep heating it up and pounding it on the horn and then flattening it out to see what I've ended up with. Now that I'm happy with the rough curve in the blade, I work on the transition between the blade and the handle and then just clean everything up and work on my inside bevels just a little bit more, trying to refine that area and draw everything out. And then I finish up the curve by creating my outside bevel because this is going to be a double-edged knife. Then I go back and I really try to define that area between the blade and the handle by drawing out just the edge. And I go with my final heat, make sure everything's flat, and the forging is complete. Then I take it to the grinder and start cleaning up the profile of the blade, leaving the handle as forged. Then I start working on the bevels. Because the bevels were forged in, I don't have to do a lot of grinding. Then I take it to my flap sand wheel and just clean everything off in preparation for heat treatment. Okay. Now that the knife is cleaned up on the grinder, I take it to my torch and start heating it up until it gets to the point where it no longer sticks to a magnet. Once it gets there, I heat it just a little further and then quench it in warm canola oil. Once the blade is cool, I remove it, clean off the scale, and then place it into my toaster oven at 400 degrees for about an hour. Once it comes out, I'm looking for this nice golden straw color. I then take it back to the flap sanding wheel and round off all the sharp edges so that the handle is nice and comfortable. And then I remove all the scale from the blade and also bring the edges down almost to the final sharpness. That'll make final sharpening a lot easier, especially on a curved blade like the Karambit. Here it is, all finished. Here's the Karambit all finished up. If you have any suggestions for other builds you'd like to see, please leave me a comment below. And if you like this video, you can check out my channel for other videos like this. And I've also written several books on different topics, and you can check out the links to those in the description. So as always, thanks for watching, be safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.